Dyalov's group consisted of 10 highly experienced young climbers, all attached to the Ural Polytechnic Institute in Russia. Their goal was to reach Mount Otorten in a remote region of the Ural Mountains, on a Level 3 expedition, the most difficult category at the time. The group consisted of 10 members. Number 1 Igor Dyalov, 23 years old. The group leader, a radio engineering student, was known for his organization and ability to lead challenging expeditions. Number 2, 21-year-old Yuri Doroshenko. Energy engineering student, known for being brave and determined. Number 3, Lyudmila Dubinina, 20 years old. Economics engineering student. She was the youngest of the group and known for her energetic personality. Number 4, Zinaida Kolmogorova, 22 years old. Radio engineering student, one of the most beloved figures in the group and close to Dyalov. Number 5, 24-year-old Alexander Kolevatov. Nuclear physics student, described as calm and analytical. Number 6, Rustam Slobodin, 23 years old. Mechanical engineering student, athlete and known for his physical endurance. Number 7, Yuri Krivonishenko, 23 years old. Construction engineering student, known for his sense of humor and for playing the mandolin while traveling. Number 8, Nikolai Thibault Brinols, 24 years old, civil engineering student. The son of a French aristocrat, he was reserved but highly respected. Number 9, Semyon Zwateryov, 38 years old. Experienced guide, the oldest member of the group. He joined the expedition at the last moment, being the most mysterious of the group. Number 10, 21-year-old Yuri Yudan, left the expedition before the disaster due to health problems, back pain and sciatica. He became the sole survivor of the group. The group intended to reach the Otorten mountain, whose name means, "Don't go there" in the indigenous Mansi language. The area was remote and little explored, considered a challenge for experienced climbers. The expedition was meticulously planned, with each member carrying provisions, clothing for the extreme cold of -30 to 40 degrees Celsius, and essential equipment such as cameras and journals to record the journey. The group began the train journey on January 23, 1959, leaving Sverdlovsk, now Yekaterinburg. They traveled to Ivdel and then continued by vehicle and skis until they reached the area where they would begin the climb. During the initial journey, Yuri Yudan began to experience severe back pain due to conical problems. On January 27, he said goodbye to the group and returned, saving himself from the fate that awaited the others. Before the disaster, the climbers took several photographs, showing relaxed and optimistic moments. The group's diary mentioned weather challenges, but nothing out of the ordinary. The place where the group set up their last tent was known to the Mansi indigenous people as Death Mountain. Despite the frightening name, the term referred to the difficulties of the area and not to supernatural events. On January 2, the group reached the slope of Korlat Syakhl and began preparing camp. The choice to camp in an open area, rather than descending into a nearby forest, was interpreted as an attempt to train for extreme conditions. Dyalov informed that the group would send a telegram to the university's mountaineering club after returning to the nearby village of Vitsai. On February 12, when the group failed to send the telegram, there was initially no concern as delays were common. It was not until February 20 that search teams were sent out, beginning an investigation that would reveal the strangest mystery in the history of mountaineering. Rescue teams were only mobilized on February 20, after insistence from families. On February 26, the tent was found on the slope of Korlat Syakhl mountain. It was partially covered in snow and had cuts made from the inside out, indicating that the climbers fled in panic. Two bodies, Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonishenko, were found under a large tree 1.5 kilometers from the tent. Both were barefoot, wearing inadequate clothing and showed signs of hypothermia. Tree branches were broken up to 5 meters high, suggesting that they had tried to climb up for protection, or to see the tent. Near the tent, 3 bodies, Igor Dyalov, Zinaida Kolmogorova and Rustam Slobodin, were found in a line, as if trying to return to the tent. Zinaida had minor injuries while Slobodin had a fractured skull. Only in May, after the snow had melted, The remaining bodies were found in a ravine 4 meters deep, covered by 4 meters of snow. They included Lyudmila Dubinina, Alexander Kolevatov, Nikolai Thibaut Brynolles and Semyon Zolotaryov. Dubinina and Zolotaryov suffered multiple rib fractures. Nikolai suffered a fatal skull fracture. Dubinina was missing a tongue and had tissue missing from parts of her face. All the bodies were dressed in the clothes of other members of the group, indicating that they tried to keep warm by reusing all the clothes of those who had already died. Some clothes had abnormal levels of radiation. The tent was found partially dismantled and covered in snow. Cuts made from the inside out indicated that the climbers tried to escape quickly. There were no signs of a fight or the presence of third parties. Individual footprints were found indicating that the group walked calmly, without proper footwear, towards the forest. The footprints disappeared after 500 meters due to wind and snow. Various belongings, including diaries and cameras, were left in the tent. The photographs showed happy moments of the expedition, but some final images were dark and enigmatic, generating theories about what happened. Number 1. Causes of death. Most died of hypothermia, but some had serious injuries with no signs of external trauma. The injuries were compared to the impacts of a car accident. Number 2. Radiation. Some clothes had high radiation, but no clear source was found to explain it. Local witnesses reported seeing strange lights in the sky on the night of the incident, raising speculation about military experiments or extraterrestrial phenomena. A small avalanche may have hit the tent, forcing the group to flee. After moving away, the climbers may have died from the cold as they tried to regroup. Points in favor of this theory: it explains the sudden escape and the lack of suitable clothing. Points against this theory are that the area has no history of avalanches and the tent was partially visible, indicating that it was not completely buried. Theory number 2, military experiments. The area was used for military testing, including missiles and chemical weapons. Radiation found on clothing and reports of lights in the sky suggest the group may have been accidentally exposed to a toxic gas blast. Points in favor of this theory: it explains the serious injuries and radiation. Points against this theory are that no signs of expulsions were found at the site. Theory 3, infrasound. Strong winds on the mountainside may have created low-frequency sound and infrasound that induces panic and disorientation. The group may have fled in panic and then succumbed to the cold. Points in favor of this theory: it explains the sudden and irrational escape. Points against this theory is that it does not explain the severe injuries or the radiation. Theory 4, Yeti attack. A popular but fanciful theory suggests that the group was attacked by a snowman-like creature. Points in favor of this theory: it explains the serious injuries. Points against this would be that there were no third-party footprints or signs of a struggle. Point 5. Internal conflict. An internal fight may have escalated, leading to the group fleeing and fatal injuries. Points in favor of this theory: it explains the cuts in the tent and the changed clothes. Points against this theory: the group was united and there was no history of tension between them. Theory 6, supernatural or extraterrestrial phenomena. The mysterious lights reported on the night of the incident have fueled theories about UFOs and supernatural phenomena. Points in favor of this theory: it explains the irrational behavior and the unexplained injuries. Points against this theory: there is a lack of physical evidence to support this. In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the case, concluding that an avalanche was the most likely cause. Independent experts continue to dispute this version. Johann Gorm, head of the Snow and Avalanche Simulation Laboratory at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology, was impressed by the realistic snow animation in the 2013 film Frozen. In 2019, he traveled to Hollywood to meet with the animators responsible for the film's snow effects and obtained permission to use the animation code developed by Disney. Points in favor of the block avalanche theory. The simulation carried out by Johann Gorm demonstrated that a block avalanche can cause severe internal fractures without external signs of trauma, such as those found in the bodies of Dubinina and Nikolai Thibaut Brynolles. A slab avalanche is small enough not to completely bury the tent, but still dangerous enough to cause significant damage. The rapid escape from the tent, barefoot and without adequate clothing, can be explained by the need to escape the imminent danger of an avalanche. The attempt to return to the tent by some members suggests that they initially fled in panic, but tried to return to retrieve provisions or clothing. Computer simulations combined with meteorological data and impact tests and dummies reinforce the plausibility of the theory. Points against block avalanche theory. The area where the bodies and tent were found showed no clear signs of an avalanche. The terrain of Ural Mountain has no history of avalanches, and the geological conditions are not considered typical for the occurrence of this type of phenomenon. Inside the tent, several items were intact, including cameras and clothing. If an avalanche had hit the camp, these items would be expected to be displaced or damaged. The presence of high radiation in some clothing is not explained by the block avalanche theory. This feeds other theories such as military experiments or exposure to radioactive materials. Some members of the group died of hypothermia, while others suffered serious injuries. The diversity of injuries suggests multiple causes, which is not entirely compatible with a single explanation: block avalanche.